St. Barbara became widely known in the East and the West alike. She endured many hardships for her faith. Thanks to her firm belief, not only did Juliana acknowledge Jesus Christ, but she also gave herself as a martyr. The Coptic Church celebrates their feast on December 17th, while the Catholic and Greek Orthodox Church celebrate it on December 4th. She was born in a village named Galassos, under the city of Heliopolis in Nicomedia, Asia Minor, at the beginning of the 3rd century, during the era of Maximinus. Her father, Dioscorus, was a pagan who worshipped the idols. When she came of age, her father was concerned that the evil temptations of the time would influence her, particularly because she possessed a stunning beauty. Therefore, he, as the habit of the rich went at the time, locked her inside a palace full of pagan idols as well as all kinds of entertainment. Barbara received a very high education, and she loved meditation. She used to look at the sky to observe the sun, the moon, and the stars, wondering about the Creator who made the earth and all that was above it. Can the architect of the universe be this inanimate, unhearing, and unseeing stone? One day she was heard by her Christian maid, who told her about Origen. Barbara looked forward to meeting him, and in fact she did when he visited the city. He spoke to her of the one who created the universe and became incarnate in Jesus Christ as a sacrifice for the sake of humanity in the Bible. Her heart became attached to the Lord Jesus Christ, and she was baptized without telling her father. Her heart was inflamed by the love of God, so she devoted her life to him, as she desired to live as a virgin, dedicating her time to worship. Many men proposed to her, one of which was a rich young man whose father was among the princes of the region. Her father spoke to her about the marriage proposal, thinking that this happy news would bring joy to her heart. However, she prudently refused. Her father decided to go on a trip to take care of some business, putting off her marriage affair until he came back in the hope that she would change her mind in time. As he was about to leave, she asked him to build a bathhouse for her before his departure. He fulfilled her request and ordered the construction of 2 windows to increase the incoming light. On her own, she turned the bathhouse into a prayer house, worshiping God with nonstop prayers, complines, and fasting. She destroyed all the idols, put a cross on the bathhouse and on top of the palace, and ordered the installation of a 3rd window. When her father returned, he noticed the obvious changes and inquired about the reasons behind it. She preached the Trinity to him and told him how people should believe in the one God who exists in 3 persons. Upon hearing this, he became enraged and went on to scold her severely. However, she did not take her father's attitude to heart and spoke to him clearly and honestly about her faith and virginity. Outraged by what she said, he attacked her, pulled her hair, and was about to put her to the sword when she managed to flee. She ran out of the gate, followed by her father. It was said that she was obstructed by a rock, which quickly split, allowing her to get through, and then became whole again. Although her father saw this, his stone heart did not pity his daughter, and he kept going around the rock until he found her hiding inside a cave. He pounced on her like a wolf pounces on a lamb, and continued to hit her violently. He then took her back home. There he confined her to a dark dungeon that resembled a prison. He then went to Marsyas, the prefect of the province, and told him about what had happened, asking him to torture St. Barbara. However, as soon as Marsyas saw her, he became fond of her and reproached her father for his cruelty towards her. He treated her nicely and promised to bestow many honors upon her if only she obeyed the king and prostrated herself before the idols. Courageously, she told him about her faith in Jesus Christ and refused to worship the idols. As a result, Marsyas had her lashed until blood flowed from her body. They tore at her with sharp spikes while she prayed silently. They also made her wear a coarse cloth on her wounded body and threw her into a dark prison. As she suffered, Jesus Christ manifested himself to her, consoled her, and healed her wounds. Her soul was overjoyed and jubilant. The next day, when the prefect summoned her, he was surprised to find her happy and exultant with no trace of her wounds. He became even more vicious and ordered the executioners to continue torturing her. They scraped her body with iron claws, burned her sides with flaming torches, and ripped at her breasts. Next, the prefect issued a despicable command that she be led naked through the streets. She cried out to the Lord to cover her body, so her modesty would not be offended. Thus the Lord heard her appeal and clothed her in a garment of light. Juliana cried bitterly for St. Barbara as she saw her enduring the pains amid the torture. When the prefect saw this, he ordered Juliana tortured with St. Barbara. Thrown in prison together, they glorified God all night. Marcius ordered the saints beheaded, so they were taken to the mountain outside the city. On the way, they were praying. When they reached the spot of their martyrdom, Dioscorus requested that he carry out the death sentence on his daughter himself. His request was granted by the authorities, and so St. Barbara gained the crown of martyrdom with St. Juliana. The body of St. Barbara reposes now inside one of the church's compartments, between the altar named after her and the chapel named after the martyrs St. Cyrus and St. John.